2. Waiting for live. Okay, we live on both. I'm gonna give it a few seconds. Then we're gonna roll. You can see me too?
Yeah, I can see you.
Okay, I try not to scratch my nose and nothing. Drink some of this here water here. All right, we ready. 1 2 1 2. All right, this is Jamil Salih with me out of Manning, South Carolina. Sincerely thanking everyone for tuning in to Community Candid. Today we got a special topic. I got a guest on the show. Of course, as promised, we're going to be talking about the Jim Morant incident, but we're going to relate that to family pressure. We're going to relate that to neglect in the community. We're going to relate that to mental health, mental illness, and we're going to bring a scenario to you of another player and many, many others. Hey, Chloe, how you doing, ma'am? Please share this if you can, Miss Risa Ville. I thank you for joining us. Again, we're going to be on several platforms today. We're on Facebook on 3 different platforms. That's the 19 Report, the Music Man, and then my personal page. We're also on Link because this is a business matter, as we talked about last time. This is about the mental state of people who are getting the opportunity to get out of the situation they claim they want to be out of, which is that ghetto situation. We got money flowing now. We're also on YouTube and we are on Twitter. We got to talk today about Jay Morant, man. I got somebody on the show with me. I got Douglas McCray on. Doug, say what's happening.
What's going on?
All right, I got Doug McCray with me, man. This man has over 30 years of basketball experience. He started coaching at Starlight City in Brooklyn with the Sleep City squad, and I might be saying I added the squad on, but it was Sleep City, aka the Huskies. He also was an assistant coach for many of the other squads in Brooklyn and surrounding areas in New York. Needless to say, he saw more on the court than the average person may have seen on the court. So we're going to discuss today some of the situations that maybe parents don't see, that maybe coaches don't see, that Jay Morant has been going through. I firmly believe, I believe he was going through it prior to basketball. As I look into the young man's eyes, I can see that he is constantly in fight or flight mode. If you don't know anything about fight or flight mode, look it up. But that's when your pupils are always big. They're always wide, dilated, like you're ready for something to pop off all the time. And when you're in a state like that, you're constantly angry, aggravated, even when it's peaceful times, you're thinking it's wartime. And I think he was going through that prior to his career. I believe personally that sometimes we want our children to be so successful we don't see the impediments in their way. I'll talk about my children on another broadcast, but today this is about Jay Morant. And we got Douglas McCray on with us. I'm going to go into an intro. I think we're going to do the intro off of our YouTube intro. When we get back, we'll be talking with Mr. Douglas McCray about incidences in New York on the basketball court and how the stress of needing protection, the stress of needing relief can cause any individual to choose a reckless environment over success. So we'll be in a minute.
Thank you so very much for tuning in to this month installment of the 19 Report. I am your host, Brother Johnny. I walked a thin line between right and wrong, took my fears to God, then I wrote this song. The spirit kept calling, so I answered the phone, and then I manned up and got some backbone. My mind resonates at a much higher tone, solid foundation, empire zone. 3 mountains, I'm in one, right to left counted, 9 and then 1, left to right switch it, 1 and then 9, west to east, south to north, a thin line. I know Christ exists, cause his mercy allows me a chance to stand 3 on a square. Yeah, we in there. This is Brother Johnny of Groove 19 Promotions.
We are back on. Miss Chloe, I try my best to get you on with me. I don't know if you can get on or not, ma'am. I don't even know if you can hear me or if you will be heard, but if you can hear me, if you get on, kind of throw your hand up in there for me there, sweetie. I see you. That's what's up. Don't hide. Yeah, we on right now with Douglas McCray. We're going to talk about the Jay Morant incident. I don't know if I'll be able to hear anything you say, Miss Chloe. Can you speak? Can you say something? Can you hear me? Okay, well, I'm going to allow you to stay on. I thank you for tuning in with us. Douglas, you can hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so you and I were talking about an incident about a player out of Coney Island.
Yes.
And you talked to me about the incident with the player on Coney Island. He was an up and coming star. Could you give us a little background on this player
Yes.
before we
Yes.
go into some more?
Yes. So before I start, I forgot to tell you, my brothers, that I'm also part of the Clan and Pride, the Manning AAU team.
That's right,
I'm
Clan
one of the
Pride.
coaches there. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I'm
sir.
part of
I appreciate that.
their coaching staff too.
Yes, sir. So you bringing all that expertise down south and joining up with the great coaches here and try to develop a better team. That's great.
Yes, yes, yes. But the player we talking about, his name is Sebastian Telfair.
Okay.
He's a good player coming out of the state. One of the best guards that I have seen. I have seen many, many, many guards.
Right. And,
And
and while you're talking, I got his picture up on the screen. I don't know if you can see it, but he was on the front of Sports Illustrated magazine, and he's
with
also
LeBron.
on front of and he's on there with LeBron James as well. So continue on.
Yes, and they used to have a big tournament out in Coney Island, the Marbury tournament. Usually have two
Okay.
teams that represent Coney Island. So basically, if you go play them teams, they're going to be protected by the people in Coney Island.
Okay.
Very protective. So the incident it was a team from Queens, and they had a player. This player was really good. Can't remember his name. And him and Sebastian was going at it to where one of the guys that know Sebastian or from the area came on the court and just flashed a gun to the kid and told him, "Yo, you're not going to keep scoring like that."
Wow.
So of course, referee's not going to say nothing. Ain't nobody going because it's not worth it.
Right.
Not worth it at all. But what I'm saying is, when you're a ball player and you from a hood,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to be protected.
Mm-hmm.
My team out in Starray City, we went to every hood to play. We wasn't scared of nothing. But
Right.
they didn't like that because they was protecting their players.
Right.
I had an incident where I had to tell some guys like, y'all want to protect your players, tell them to play better basketball.
Right.
Don't just leave your team in one hood and then when we come from another places from playing in a whole lot of tournaments, y'all want to threaten us, threaten the players.
Right.
But that's what they do to protect a certain player.
Right. Right.
Now,
So go ahead.
no, and now in in Sleep City, Starray City, I coached so many guys, but we protected our players, but not at the expense of going on the court or doing that. We protected them by like, look, we're gonna come and support you because you have to do that. You have to bring people from your hood,
Right.
to support you.
Right.
Now, if
Right.
they come and react, then of course you're gonna protect the player from your hood.
Right.
But some
Right.
players get too caught up with the hood and being a ball player.
Mm-hmm.
You can't bring the hood on the court.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how they get in trouble. And then now,
Mm-hmm.
like in John Morant case, he was protected by the hood.
Right.
He's very protected. So basically, he took that to the NBA,
Right.
not
Right.
knowing the NBA is a business. It's not no street ball tournament. You can't
Right.
do the same thing. So he felt probably dedicated to show his hoodness to the boys he brought with him.
Right.
And as he got
Right.
older, it was like, well, I'm gonna be just as hood as them.
Right.
You can't
Right.
do that. You
Right.
cannot do that.
Right.
You have
Right.
to better yourself around better people who's gonna be positive for you.
Right.
Because that energy, that type of energy is not good. And I have seen it all. I've
Right.
been at games where guys just want to fight. If you scoring too many points on a certain player, they want to jump you at the end of the game. You
Right.
know, they want to tell you not to do this no more. You better not dunk on him or this and that. You leave the
Right.
ball. You see that? And then, of course, if you're young, you get cocky because you feel like, yeah, I
Right.
got the hood behind me. So, of course, you're
Right.
going to get cocky too.
Right.
You know, they got to know the difference. You know, they got to know the difference.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So in Jay Morant's case, man, as I was saying, I saw in him, even as a young person, that I believe he was being protected by the fellas around him who were tougher than him. But I see in his eyes, man, an emptiness.
Right.
A lot of times I feel like parents are so dedicated in making sure that their child make it out of the ghetto or make it out of a poor situation, that they put, and I'm included in that because I did it to my children. They put a lot of stress on the child to be great.
Right.
When the child is home, they feel the pressure of it. They don't feel love from it. They feel just the pressure of it. And when they get out in the street, they feel what they perceive to be genuine love. So much so, Douglas, that they would sacrifice a $200-400 million contract. Is that what he has?
Yeah, like a $230
$230 million contract for that love.
Yeah.
But that's not, in my opinion, that's not him being reckless in his mind. That's him showing his loyalty to what he feels loves him. That's why, in my opinion, a lot of young children are going to gangs because although mama buy him a car, buy him nice clothes, buy him the Xbox, do all these things, he really does not understand that child.
Right.
But then they go out to the street where these people really ask you, how you doing? How you feeling? You were scared. You were scared? Yeah, I was scared. They're able to express themselves in ways that they can't to their own parents. As you can see, unfortunately, with Jay Morant's father, who's more of a tag along than he is a parent. Apparently, it looks that way to me. He's enjoying the success of his child because a lot of times they feel like they earned that by pressing their child to be great. Now let's get back into this. What's the gentleman name we were talking about? Yeah, let's get back into that case and put that with this Jay Morant case, and then we're going to talk a little bit about something else that just happened too with Sean Kemp. Jay Morant, Sebastian was considered what in Coney Island? You said they used to call him what?
No, they just by his name. Like, yo, he was one of the best guards to come out of Coney Island.
But they considered him like the king of Coney Island. What did they call him? Like a nickname or something?
I forgot his nickname exactly.
Yeah, I think I read where it was like the king of Coney Island. But they were big up in him, like he could do no wrong.
He was supposed to be the next Stephon Marbury to come out of Coney Island.
Now, Marbury was his cousin, right?
They was cousins.
They were cousins.
You know.
And he skipped. Well, he saw two of his friends be murdered in Long Island apartments.
Yeah, and the apartments over there, I think they got killed on the elevator or something like that. I'm not
right. Right. And he's around what age then?
He was like probably still in high school.
Right.
You know. But as you know, they protect their players out in Coney Island.
Right.
It's always been that way.
Right.
You couldn't just go in Coney Island with a team and say you're going to beat the two best teams out of Coney Island. That's not going to happen.
That's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
So after the two friends were murdered, he decided to not go to college, but go straight into the pros because he wanted to make enough money to get his family out of that situation.
Now, to me, that was a big mistake.
Right.
Because a lot of guys leave high school, they're not mentally ready for the pros.
Right. Right.
Some of them
right.
are physically ready. They can have the skills, but some of them is not physically ready.
Right.
Now, if you're his age, you're coming out of high school, 17, 18.
Right. Your brain is not developed yet. The brain does not develop until you're about 25, 26. You're still in child mode. But you're expected to do things like that an adult does.
and then you're getting this money.
Yeah, you're getting real money.
Getting money. Now,
Right.
if you grow up like in the projects or whatever, you know, your neighborhood, if you signing a contract, 90 million, you know, 100 million, oh,
Right.
you're gonna wild out. You're gonna
Right.
wild out.
Right.
Like, who wouldn't wild out?
Right.
You know, but you also gotta realize I can't take some of these people with me.
Right.
But you're not gonna say that because they all had love for you.
Right. Same thing with Allen Iverson. He did the
Right.
same thing. Right. Right. Right.
Now, Sebastian had stars coming to his game. Derek Jeter, Jay-Z, everybody coming out.
Right.
You know, they was coming out to see him, you know.
Right.
What
But
happened?
apparently they weren't nurturing him in the responsibility of money though.
No. Nobody never tells you how to manage your money when you first get it.
Right.
Let's think about it. If you're from the hood and you got guys who have been protecting you, now you feel like a sense of, let me break them off something. And it's something we always say. Not even basketball players, rappers, anybody who get a big sum of money. We tell people in the hood, what do we say? Yo, I got you when I make it.
Right.
Got you.
Right. Right. That's right.
Now, them people who's protecting you, you know, when you make it, now they looking like you said you got me.
Right. Your word is your bond.
Your word is
Right.
your bond. So
Right.
you take them with you. But
You paying their whole way though.
exactly.
Yeah. You paying for everything.
You're paying for everything.
Yeah.
You know. So with Sebastian, he was good. He, you know, traveled from team to team, but somewhere down the line, getting caught with guns,
Right.
speeding
Right.
in cars,
Right.
you
Reckless,
know,
living reckless. Right.
reckless,
Yeah.
reckless.
And
They-
that's where we are with Jay Morant. I don't think he can separate, man, after a person has called you a punk and a chump and a sucker, and now the whole, even Shannon Sharp and everyone else is saying Jay Morant is not a thug, he's not this, but they don't know that.
They don't exactly.
A killer don't say I'm a killer.
Right.
A person who commits crimes, if he got any sense, don't say I'm a criminal.
Right.
I don't believe that Jay Morant's parents know his life outside of basketball. And I also believe that when parents are risking losing everything, rather he gets someone pregnant or somebody they don't like or whatever, it's always going to be on the hush. I believe from the coaches in the coaches in the school to the all of those police departments and all who got calls about Jay Morant, because he's in a what is it? He assaulted a 17-year-old who's
Right.
suing him now for $40 million.
Yes.
I believe it's 40 million.
Yes.
So these situations are coming out of the blue that this person who we deem as just have issues have been doing this for a very long time. But he was doing it unchecked.
But go back to the parents, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Ja Morant is the breadwinner of his family.
Right.
Some parents, if your child is a breadwinner, you're not going to discipline them.
Right.
The fear of losing money,
Right.
you know. And I know me and you spoke about this before. I don't care how much money my child makes. I'm going to tell you, and I know you said the same thing. We're going to let our kids know when you're doing wrong and when you're doing right.
Right.
Now, if that comes to a big argument, then I will leave the money.
Right.
I'm not going to take the money and hush and let you destroy your life.
Right. Right. That's right.
I can't do that. Well, see, to me, because I can't speak for everybody, and me, I saw that Ja had his friends, this and that. Because if you look at the videos, another video surfaced of him being young, guy flashing a gun. Yeah, this and that. We got Ja Morant, this and that. I mean, come on. If you got people like that telling you they got you, you get cocky.
Right.
You get very cocky to where you're
Right.
a point like, I can do this. I can say this. You know what I mean? This is what I can do.
Right.
You see the team. You see my team rolling with me.
Right.
You see my clique.
Right.
You
Right.
know?
Well, I always say that there's several things that bring out a person's true self. That's drugs, money, and attention.
Yes.
Once you get those things, you're going to show who you really are.
Right.
I believe that without a doubt. Either you're a humble person and you are who you are, but when they show you who they are, you got to believe that.
You got to believe it.
You understand what I'm saying? Now, Morant is making apologies, but his apologies are going on deaf ears because people believe he's simply doing it for fear of losing
What he
his
has.
endorsements. Right,
Yes.
right. Now it's
What he
becoming a reality, but
Yes.
he doesn't feel any different about nothing he's doing. It's just that I'm just about to lose some things.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Now we going back to Sebastian Telfair for a minute.
Right.
He felt after seeing I don't know whether he saw his friends be murdered or you know that it traumatized him so much this man could not walk around without a weapon.
Yes.
Now, from what I read, the guns he purchased were legal in Florida, 4 guns, but they weren't legal in New York. And he was already caught up on a situation where he was found with a gun. I think you were telling me that all of his friends packed their weapons in his bag because he wouldn't be searched, right?
He wouldn't be searched.
Right. Right.
Searched. But
right.
Didn't turn out that way.
This time they searched him.
Right. And that was one of his first, arrests he had.
Right.
Which probably that made him go to the NBA. Because if you know anything, if you get arrested, you can lose your scholarship.
Right.
You can lose it. So maybe that forced him to jump into the NBA.
Right. Now let's fast forward a little. Go ahead and finish.
Then by him witnessing his friends being murdered, that also can push you to be like, I can't do 4 years of college. I got to get my family out of here.
Right. And that's what he said. He said, I got to get them out of here.
Got to get them out of here.
Right. But along with thinking about getting them out of that quote unquote hood, right? He kept that mentality with him, is my point. He didn't abandon the hood mentality after he got out of the hood. Same thing with Jay Morant, in my opinion. People say he's not from the hood, but there's 2 things. You can be in the street and of the street, right? I've been in the street. I know what the street does, but I'm not a street dude.
Right.
But they're saying that Jay Morant is not a street dude. I think he is a street dude. I told you that before. I think he has a hidden life that he didn't, family will blindly see things and ignore them.
Right.
Or protect you. That's why we got all these murderers, their parents putting up the houses and everything saying they got a good boy, but the record says he got 5, 6, 7, 8 attempted murders.
True.
You understand? How the hell is he a good boy when he didn't try to kill 8 people? And you put the whole house up, everything. I got a good boy. I believe that they saw his potential, and I experienced this in my own family, where the police will call the parents first before they book them into jail, so they won't have a record, because this is going to be somebody.
Right.
So what you end up doing is protecting a person who has mental problems, who figure now, like you said earlier, I'm untouchable.
Yes.
Because I get away with everything. Right. So the Jay Morant case, the Sebastian Telfair case, he still got that PTSD from living in Long Island apart. What was the name of the
I don't. It's the Gardens. The Gardens is in Coney Island. I can't think of the name.
But it's in Coney Island.
It's not Long Island. It's in Coney Island.
It's Coney Island. That's right. He was the king of Coney Island. That's what they used to call him. I think the king of Coney Island.
He's supposed to be the next best thing to come out of Coney Island.
Right.
Stephon Marbury.
Right. That's right. His cousin.
His cousin.
And he was a very good player. But the brain, I'm looking on the internet now, a child's brain doesn't develop into adulthood until around 25. Right. So depending upon what kind of trauma or whatever you've been through in an earlier age, your brain may never develop properly. So now you just DMX said it. He said he was a hood before he got into music. When he got into music, he just became a hood with money.
True.
So he still had that same mentality. It didn't change. And unfortunately, black folks have a stigma about seeking help, getting psychiatric help, You know what I mean? Psychological help. So that's off the table. I was talking to a young man the other day, and he was like, I ain't going to see no psychiatrist. No psych. Like, well, that's your mistake, because there's some things that needs to be addressed. I think he may have had problems with family issues, but I'm telling you, when you look in this young man's eyes, he's always in fight or flight mode. Now, that's the same thing as they call the eye of the tiger, or the game, you know, you put on that game face or whatever, but he's always there. He's aggressive.
Always ready.
Right, always ready, always very aggressive, and a great player from what I can see.
Right.
But he doesn't know how to turn that off. And that's the same thing, in my opinion, we have going on with a lot of local players in Manning. We won't call no names. Great players, great potential, but they must be taught how to turn those things off.
Right. And
in my humble opinion, as the parents should be getting them psychological help. If you can't talk to your child, if you don't want to hear them say, I might have killed somebody, I might have raped somebody, I might have beat somebody, I'm depressed, I need medication. If you don't want to hear that, then you got to get them the right psychological help.
True that.
Because money is not going to fix that. But let me go into this headline real quick, man, and you tell me what you think about it. Let's see if I can get it up here. I don't know if you can see it, but it says NBA script. Okay, it says NBA script on fire. Social media viciously dragged Jay Morant to the grounds after Sean Kemp arrest after his gun violence in broad daylight. Now, Sean Kemp is an old player. And like I was saying, old player, like I'm saying before, in the 60s, 70s, just as child decision making as these young boys.
Right.
It says, given the current uproar surrounding Jim's Instagram live video in which he appeared brandishing a gun, the incident is extremely pertinent, even though there was insufficient evidence to.
Hello? I think we went out.
You hear me?
I can hear you. Hold on, I lost it. But I can
hear you. I can still hear you too. Go ahead, keep talking.
Oh, yeah. I just saw that about Sean Kemp, you know.
Right.
I don't know the whole details, because what they were saying, somebody tried to rob him. And
understandable.
Right. But I don't know, you know, the whole outcome.
Right.
But
here's the situation with that, though. Go ahead.
Same situation.
Yeah.
Same situation. But to go back to a statement you made that I think we might have a debate over, because you had said that you think he always been like that. John Morant had that thug in him.
Yeah.
Me? I don't think so.
Okay. Give me a reason.
My reason why is because I think him being affiliated with it, that he had to prove himself now.
Okay.
You know, like, bro, you got to prove yourself to us.
Right.
So that's what I think. I
can agree with that.
In order to prove himself, I think he has to act like that.
Right.
You know.
Right. Okay. I can agree with that. Right.
You know. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I think he's acting like that, you know. Because sometimes
but what is causing him to?
Huh? I can't. Will you say
what is causing him to? What? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
What is causing him to risk everything just to prove to a bunch of people who are literally nothing but hired hands, hired gunmen, hired thugs? What would psychologically cause him to risk losing all of that, though?
But see, you just said the whole thing. You just answered your own self, my brother.
Break it down to me. Okay.
He has to prove himself.
Okay.
You know, as soon as
why does he have to prove himself in the street when he's proven himself on the court that I'm a $250 million man? Nobody on the street ever made that kind of money. What is the pull on the people from the bottom to make you stay at the bottom? Now, I got an answer for some of it, but go ahead.
Okay. like you said, if you're a top notch player
Right.
and your skills is there,
Right. I lost you. Douglas. Okay, I think I lost Doug, but I think he will be back on here, dial back in. We're talking about the Jay Morant situation and things that are relating to it. We are 30 minutes in. We usually ask that you give us about an hour. With the Jay Morant situation now, we are discussing. Okay, you back?
yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, go ahead. Say what you were saying.
Like you don't have to prove yourself in your game
Okay.
because your
Okay.
game already speaks for itself.
Right.
Like I don't have to prove to them I can play ball, but I got to prove to them that I'm a gangster like them.
But to risk everything that you worked hard for, what the lure of the bottom that will take man from the top? Is he a weak mentally? Is he mentally?
Maybe he thought he was, as we say, untouchable.
Okay.
They're not gonna do nothing to me. I'm the new.
But
I'm the
that's a
new.
whole different world that he's entering. Like you said at the beginning, there's a difference between street and business. Whack 100 made that statement too. He said every gangster that tried to come into music and strong arm it are gone because business executives are more organized and stronger than these street dudes who think that they can strong arm music.
Right.
Right.
Remember,
And
I
he's
said
saying
that
they should have learned by now that you can't come in here with that street mentality. You understand what I'm saying? When it comes, like you said earlier, when it comes to business.
hello.
Doug.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, you hear me?
Yes, you went
Yeah,
out on me.
they messing with me on the internet, man. You know how they do with the brother, man. They
Don't
won't
worry
give me a
about it, brother. As long as you
yeah,
get the word across, so you can get it across in
yeah.
5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever.
I ain't even panicking, man. I'm cooler than a fan, brother. Cooler than a fan.
Gotta be.
You know, but like I was saying, he's got a family that is supposed to be the a perfect nuclear family, a husband, a wife, a brother, himself. But still something is making him feel he has to prove himself to the street.
It's
You
like
tell me what that is.
it's like I told you when we saw the incidents where his friend or his brother was getting ready to walk on the court.
Mm-hmm.
That's a no-no.
Right.
We
That's right.
saw the incidents where the pointing the, as they say, they was pointing the laser guns at the other team, but supporting
Right.
they said it wasn't no gun. But
Right.
and you see his father always jumping up, getting into arguments with people.
Right.
This is basketball.
Right.
This is football. And the reason why I say both of them sports, because both of them sports mostly have black people in it.
Right.
You don't see this in baseball. You don't see
Right.
this in hockey.
Right. That's right.
You don't see none of that.
Right.
But you see it, all the players who want to be thugs, they're either in football or they're in basketball.
Right. Right.
Why? They have to prove themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They have to prove. It don't even matter about the money. It's about I still got to prove to my hood that I'm down with them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Got a lot of people, who stayed away from the hood. You can keep a couple of your friends with you. You keep the ones that's positive. You keep the ones that's not going to be a yes man.
Right. Right.
You can't do it. You got to. Like I said before, when me and you first talked about this subject, I said John Morant and his friends and families trying to be the Suge Knight of the NBA.
Right. Right.
You're not
Right.
going to strong arm people in the NBA. If
Right. And
their
like I said,
son,
yeah, yeah. Right.
If your son gets fouled or get into an argument with another player from another team, that's team business.
Right.
Let the
Right.
teams handle that.
Right.
Why I gotta jump on the court to protect my
Right.
son?
Right.
Why I gotta be one of his friends to want to step out? What you gonna do? What you gonna do?
Right. Right. Right.
What you gonna do? When you go out there, that's causing more of a ruckus.
Yeah, and that's why I say that they're not being groomed into how professionalism work, because having money doesn't make you professional.
Right.
In fact, most people, when they get a little bit of money, they become more ignorant with the money. And I think parents should, from high school, from middle school to high school, while their child is growing in sports or academics, they should see to it that they're being examined by psychiatrists, not taking pills necessarily,
Right.
but it's just that when you can talk to someone else besides the people that you're afraid to talk to, you can vent out a lot of things that bothers you. Now Jay Morant is saying he's going to go seek the help he needs. He's going to go do this. Is he serious about it? Who knows?
Right.
Now, you said earlier about the Grizzlies, the team itself, they're kind of like a bunch of spoiled brats in a
They
way.
are. If you ever watch them play, they spoil.
Right.
They can say whatever they want to you.
Right.
They can yell at your fans.
Right.
They can yell at the other players on the other team, talk much trash to them. But the
Right.
minute you say something back to them, now it's like they spoil. They
Right.
they bratty now.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and that's just
So
how
they're
they
not even a great example for the anxiety or whatever Jay Moran is going through. That's kind of fueling the fire then.
But you realize something? That whole generation, even the generation that's coming up now, you cannot say nothing to them.
Right. Can't
They
step
are
on your foot. You can't do nothing, man.
they too
Can't look at them.
sensitive,
Right.
you know.
Right.
And some parents, I'm not saying all parents, some parents will not allow you to talk to their child that way.
Right. They defend them. They come
Right.
in. They come in.
You you can tell a parent or even some of his friends, like, yo, his game is not there.
Right.
Oh, you hating on that man. What you
Right.
mean my son game is not there?
Right.
You
Right.
know, they
Right.
looking at the highlights he's making.
Right. Right.
You
The
know,
one or two things that he's good at.
right.
But what you need to be looking at is the overall
The over
performance, the
right.
game, everything. Right.
If you're a parent and you see your child in any sport get a call and he's acting crazy on the court, yeah, and talking to the coach in any kind of way, if you don't pull your child to the side,
Right.
you're
Get some respect. Right. Right.
creating a monster.
You're creating a monster. And like with Jay Moran, I don't believe that he listens to much of what his parents tell him.
Right.
He's, like you were saying earlier, he's the breadwinner now.
He's the
He
breadwinner
brings
now.
he brings the most money to the table now. So who are you to tell me to do anything?
To do anything. Now, like you said, as a parent, you have a decision to make. You
Leave
want
him?
to right, leave them
Right. Right.
or stay and just let whatever happens.
And reap the benefits of the money. I mean, you can kind of put together some type of contract where you can get a percentage of what you feel they owe you for raising their funky behind, and then let them go, because every child has to learn.
Perfect example. God bless his soul, Kobe Bryant and his parents. They said
Mm-hmm.
something to Kobe, right? Kobe felt
Mm-hmm.
disrespected, went back
Mm-hmm.
and forth with his parents. They said,
Mm-hmm.
forget the money and move back to Philly.
Right. They left.
They left.
Right.
You
Right.
know, we trying to look out for you. This is what
Right.
this is what we do. Like
Right.
like with me and my nephew. My nephew was playing ball at the rec,
Mm-hmm.
acting a fool.
Right.
He don't want to shake the other team hand, getting mad at the referee when he's making calls. I yelled at him.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, you fouled him.
Right.
Why is you acting crazy? And you fouled the man.
Right.
I yelled at the coach. Take him out the game.
Right.
Take him
Right.
out.
Right.
Take him out. Just
Right.
like when I coached my team in a tournament, we was undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
Undefeated. Two of my players was acting up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I did? the second half of the basketball game, we came out at halftime, I forfeit the whole thing.
Right. Shut it down.
I shut it down. And you know what
Right.
I told the players? You're not going to embarrass us as a team.
Right.
You're not going to embarrass me as a coach. And most of all, you're not going to embarrass your parents.
Right.
The
Right.
whole gym couldn't believe that, yo, he just forfeit the whole second half. They're
Mhm.
undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
And I told the guy who ran the tournament, I said, yo, they disrespecting the team, their parents, and
Right.
they disrespecting your tournament by acting
Right.
this way. I'm
Right.
not going to let that happen, whether we undefeated or not.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
they couldn't believe I did it.
Right. Right.
And a lot of
You,
people
you,
said,
you're the same way with the team here in South Carolina when you coach.
yes.
Yeah,
Very.
it's like I'm gonna take if it's the best player, whatever. If you're not playing by the rules, best for the team, making the team look good, respecting the team, respecting the coaches, the parents, even the people who paid to come see this game, then you out.
You out. You can't disrespect the organization you're playing for,
Right.
because it
Right.
makes us as coaches look bad. Like, they don't. First thing they say when you coaching kids and they're wilding out, they say he don't have control of his players.
Right.
They
Right.
don't have control of their players.
Right. And see this right here, what you're saying, Douglas. This right here is what makes me to think that Jay Morant had an issue with his parents. I don't think this is something that just popped up out of the blue. Anytime I was out in the street as a young boy out there doing whatever the street do, whatever I was big and bad enough to do, I always thought about my mother because she raised us as a single mother.
Right.
And I thought if I got into trouble, how it would make her feel, how it would embarrass her. Now, my brother, on the other hand, could care less. I don't care. I don't care. I'm doing what I'm doing. That was him. I didn't follow his example. I ran away from trouble. I just became a chicken because I didn't want to get involved with what would make my mother, what would break her heart, because I saw my brother break her heart. I don't see that in Jay Morant. I don't see him caring that he breaks someone's heart. I don't see him feeling like he needs to care that he breaks someone's heart. I'm Jay Morant. Who are you? I do what I want to do. That's what I see. But I don't think that's something that just developed, Douglas, when he started with how long you been in the league? 2-3 years?
Might be about 2, 3, maybe going on 4 years.
Yeah, I don't think a person transforms like that in 2 or 3 years, Douglas. I think it was something there, man.
You think it was there all along, and
Yeah, I really do. I really do.
on his, like, we're not gonna let it come, because
Right.
in college, I followed him in college. It was
Mhm.
never no incidents in college.
Right. Okay.
Not unless they hit it.
I believe they hit it. I mean, I know coaches. All coaches are not like Douglas McCrae. You understand what I'm saying? When a
lot of them out there, like,
a lot of them, yeah, you got a whole lot, and real got a moral coaching code. They're going to follow that code.
Right.
But from Manning High School, Manning Middle School, and surrounding Summerton, there are coaches and teachers who cook the books for their students to play ball, hide their disciplinary reports for them to win games for the school, because that brings attention to the school.
Right.
And then out of how many players on the team?
It all depends on what the team carries. Some can go anywhere from 12 to 15.
Out of 15 to 12 players on the team, maybe one will get a scholarship.
Right.
And maybe one in a span of 4 or 5 years will go pro. All of those other players are psychologically, in my opinion, damaged, bro, and even the one who they press to go forward is damaged.
Right.
Guidance counselors and things like that in the school system are supposed to recognize these behavior issues and address them before they get out of hand. But when everybody working in cahoots together and they're allowing these issues to pass because they want to win this game, this guy has to play.
Right.
So I'm not just running it down on the parents. I'm talking about the whole system. I'm talking about you and me. Like, you talk about a particular player, out of Manning, and you said great player, but he has issues. You want to talk to the parents and others about him, but you know you're going to get railroaded about it.
Of course.
So you got to be quiet about it, even though you see the problem.
Of course.
Right? You told me about the player. I made some comments about the player and almost got railroaded about it, but I saw what you saw. You know what I mean? As responsible parents raising a village, we're supposed to be able, like you said, to talk, but everyone is so spoiled. How are we going to fix that?
You have to. It's a hard thing because, like I say, today's kids are not like kids from the past.
Right.
Where we talk to them, even when coaches talk to the players, it made them stronger.
Right.
It made them want
character development.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're right. In a lot of the OGs that played sports,
Mm-hmm.
they will also develop that with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
But some kids you can't talk to because they're just sensitive. It's in all sports.
Right.
Sensitive.
Right.
They're just
Right.
sensitive. So you can
Well, is
develop
that on the part of the parent making them, spoiling them like that?
No, it's the system. It's not the parents.
Okay.
It's the system.
The whole thing.
Yeah, the whole thing is the system. The system took a lot of things away from parents.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
the main thing they took away from parents was you can't talk to your child that kind of way.
Right. Right.
That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not able to talk to your child a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be hard to raise them. Because I grew up with my father, my mother, people in the neighborhood. If you don't stop that beeping, boy, you bet beep beep. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know
That's a fact. I've been in a lot of confrontations, man, with the school system in Manning, with the DSS system with my children, because I'm gonna cut they behind if they out of line. But they use that against me. They try to take my children away. Man, I've been through some mess here. You understand? So I'm, like I say, when I talk about things, I speak from experience. So I can agree with that. You're almost afraid to parent properly.
Exactly. Now, and I'm gonna tell you as a parent,
Well, I wasn't afraid, but some people are afraid. But go ahead.
but I tell you this: when the system took the punishments of beating and talking to your kids away from you,
Right.
it also tried to damage the black homes.
Right. A fact.
Because if you do something to your child, the first thing the system want to do is put you in jail.
A fact.
And
A
take
fact.
your child.
You ain't lying.
And take your child outside of your home.
Right. Right.
Your home that you giving them everything they need, the love, the toughness,
Right.
everything. They
Right.
take them, they put them in another situation where nobody cares about them.
Right. Right. That's
So
right.
you took them away from me to make my child not gonna listen more, not gonna trust people.
Right.
All because I cursed at my child.
Right.
Or I beat my child.
Right.
Now I'm locked up. That's taking
Right.
a parent away from the home.
Agreed. Agreed.
Now,
I almost got locked up, man. They took my daughter from me. They tried to make her say that I was molesting her. They did a whole lot of, man. Listen, this system down here will railroad you if you don't have a backbone. But go ahead.
It's all over, brother. And now, not only are they taking the child from a 2-parent home, because they're gonna take the child out the home. If you're the father, you're there by yourself, and the mother do something, they're taking the child away from you.
Right.
If you're the mother, and the father do something, they're taking the child away from the mother until we investigate.
Right.
They just throw them anywhere, put them here, bang, bang, bang.
Right.
Bang,
Right.
bang.
Right.
You don't know what's going on in that home, in that forced to kill group home they got your child in. So when your child come back to you, they're somewhat mentally damaged.
Right. Fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. I agree with that. We're talking about the Jay Morant situation for those of you who may tune in later, and we were putting his situation up with Sebastian Telfer out of Coney Island, a situation that occurred some years ago where he was involved with guns, and he had to do 3 years on that. He was a troubled person. I mean, you could see it in the courtroom. He was troubled. But from what I read, he is trying to work his way back up, just like Allen Iverson and many others who who kind of lost their way trying to help everybody. We talked about this subject today because we want to address what's happening, what Douglas McCray and myself, him being a coach in New York for 30 years and then coaching down here for how many years now? This is your second or third?
Third year.
Your third year. And he hasn't even put forth all the effort that he can working with the other coaches just yet. They're feeling each other out. But I think they're going to do great things here because that discipline has to come back to the game. But with the Jay Morant situation, with everyone, there are some people, Douglas, who are making excuses for his behavior. I don't like that.
I don't like that neither.
That's why I wanted to come on and try to analyze all sides of the situation with you being a coach, because I don't know nothing about sports. Right. It wasn't until he started talking to me last night about it. I'm like, man, come on, you got to come on the show because I don't know anything, but I think we're going to start a sports segment, which you suggested some time ago. We're going to have to do it. Right. Because our children's way out, and I'm talking black children in particular, white children are going to take advantage of opportunities, most of them. That's why the baseball field out at the rec league is filled with white children trying to get scholarships on baseball, where black folks stop trying to get scholarships on baseball. But we got to address this thing from an overall perspective, but we got to be realistic. It's the black folks that are mostly coming from impoverished and unstable homes and need the mental attention so that if they do get a deal, they don't blow it.
Right.
There was a young man out of Summerlin, I won't call his name. His mother worked hard for him to get into USC. I think it's USC. And they just got caught with the guns, the gang violence, and now he's out off the football team, out of the school. And she put everything she could into him, but he felt more loyal to whatever he felt loyal to, unfortunately. But then you will get upset if I say something about your mother, but you are breaking your mother's heart.
Right.
And that tells me that there's a psychological break in there. Now, I'm going to go into another situation later on. We're running out of time with my own children and how I tried to force them because one of them was intelligent. The other one was this. And I tried to force them to do things. And I know for a fact they did not feel love from the way I was trying to get them to do things. So when the street came about and showed them any form of love, they adopted that.
Right.
And at 13, 14 years old, man, they 15, they was banging. They were gang banging. I didn't even know about it. It was not my children. Not my children. I ain't even worried about that because I raised them this way. But they had another life going on out in the street. I'm talking about serious situations.
Right.
If it were to come back to me, I'd be like, no way in the world my child did that. You know what I mean? Until I saw one of my children who was an A student, what do you call it? The Glee Club, anything you can name, the band. He got a scholarship to Morris College, yo and my alma mater. He got a scholarship to Morris. And I went to bring him some food one day and they told me he dropped out of school.
Wow. And
the next thing I know about him, my cousin called my sister and my sister called me, his name in the paper for robbing cars.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not just talking about this young man, Jay Morant. I'm talking from experience.
Right.
Just my son ain't made $240 million, but he was on his way to greatness. You understand?
Right,
because he beat out all of Morris College in geometry. He won a trophy and everything. And he was a new freshman, but his brain was still sharp.
Right.
So I thank you for coming on with me. But I want to say this though, man. A lot of times children succeed because they are ambitious, right? They already know in their mind what they want. But we as parents think that the child succeed because we were these great parents that raised them. We don't give them the credit they deserve for their hard work.
Right.
Because they got to take a lot of stress. We don't know what they got to go through, man. You go to the gym all day, you practice, the coach on your behind, the school on your behind. You get with some young fellas who tell you don't worry about nothing, hit this blunt, drink this liquor, the music playing, and you saw Jay Morant in the club with the young ladies. That was freedom to him. I believe that.
Okay.
Freedom. And that's why if you look at him holding the gun, he didn't have his finger on the trigger. He was holding the butt of the gun. And I know about guns.
Yes, you do.
He was holding the butt of he wasn't like pointing it from what I saw. the clip I saw. But in the background, you saw the young ladies, the hoochies, or the strippers. But that was like heaven to him,
Right.
because he got to relax away from everything. When what you love cause more stress than something else, you're gonna go to the something else.
True that.
Give me your opinion on that before we close. We got 5 minutes.
Well, I think he can be saved.
I do. I agree with that. I agree with
think
that.
he can be saved.
I agree with
I
that.
don't think he's a dumb child. I just think, like you
I
say,
agree
he
with
needs
that.
a little better guidance. He can
Right.
be saved.
I agree with that.
Everybody can be saved if they
Yes, sir.
want to be, and I think
Yes,
he
sir.
can be saved.
Right.
You know, so I'm not. I like the brother as a player. He's good.
Well, I saw him in 2 games, man, and he's very, like I said, he got that eye of the tiger.
Right.
He's always in fight or flight mode. He plays his game, and to me, he plays it well. And I don't know nothing about basketball like that, but
Yeah.
I believe he plays all corners of the court well, based on what you taught me about how a player should be.
Yeah,
I believe you're correct on that.
he definitely can be saved. So I'm gonna keep praying for the brother.
Yeah.
As much as other kids too. You know, they can
Right.
be saved.
Right.
You know, we just can't let the system control our kids. We
Right.
sometimes got to take it back.
Right. Agreed.
Take it back.
Agreed.
And I would like to say, you know, I'm gonna say hello to all my coaches from the AAU program.
That's what's up.
You know, all the coaches that's working with the kids and everything. These are some good guys. They give up their time,
Right.
their families to, you know, invest time in the kids. But what I want to say is that, Manny, you have a AAU program. Y'all should come out and support the teams that we have.
Right.
Even if your child ain't playing, just come and support. Because then maybe you can see that kid walking in Walmart and saying, "Hey, you're pretty good. You had a decent game. My child don't play, but it's pretty
You're
good.
good. Yeah, I see what you can. Maybe you can help my child get better. You want to come over, play a game or two? Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So I think that if, you know, come out and support the Clarendon Pride AAU team.
All right.
Even if the child don't play, just come out and support.
Right.
You know, you can even come to a practice to see what our coaches is doing.
Right.
To help build these kids' character.
Right.
To build their pride. To build their confidence.
Right.
Because we're not just out there showing them how to play basketball, doing this. We're showing them a whole lot of other things.
Right. Right. You know, right.
How to appreciate the gift that God gave you.
Right. Right. Fact. I love the way you said that, man. I think Doobie Daniels, I don't know his real name, but he's about to sign to a school. I think we're going to find that out when. Do you know when?
Now, I'm not exactly sure when.
But I saw it. It should be soon. But I encourage everybody to keep your eye out for somebody I saw on the court too, and that's Snoop.
Oh yeah, that's Jeffrey Daniels.
Jeffrey is a real solid player too, a good team player, and all of the team, they just played the game I saw. They played as a collective, and I was impressed with it. You know what I mean? And so I encourage everybody to watch our children and see them out in the streets in their elements. They'll leave home dressed one way, and you might see them in the street another way. Don't gossip about it.
Right.
Even though it might be a argument, call their parents and say, "Did you know your son is doing this, this, and this? I didn't know."
True that.
Help them before, because that's what the village thing is. You got to be able now. The children today call us snitches and nosy, but that's love.
That's love right there.
That's love, and that's what it's going to be forever. Because if I see you doing something, and I'm afraid to approach you because you're crazy, and most of our children have mental illness.
Right. Well,
I'm gonna talk to your parents.
Okay. Let me just say something. I mean to cut you off, but all them players you had named, it's come from working with, to me, one of the good coaches and who's been participating with the kids is Coach Marty.
Okay.
Marty Lemon, man.
Great. That's what's up.
Marty Lemon, man. He's definitely good with the kids, man.
That's what's up. Yeah, I can appreciate
all them kids you probably see playing in high school, junior high school, elementary.
Right.
Marty Lemon has something to do with their development.
Right.
And I just want to thank him and Coach Schuler for giving me a chance to coach AAU basketball.
Right.
I got to give them their flowers.
Solid. I appreciate that. Thank you to all the parents, Sonia King Daniels and Lee Van Daniels, and all of those who are just school mothers and fathers to the team. As hard as you all work, there's still some things that you don't see that other people's may see. And as long as you all are encouraging the team, I praise you all for that. Karen Hilton Sanders, her husband, all of these people I don't want to start calling names because there's so many people that does so much. But to all of you that I see out at the games, man, blessings to you. Let's get diligent and look closer at our children and help them in the mental area, the behavior area. There's a professionalism that they must have.
And I just want to say much success to the kids that signing letters to go to college.
Yes.
I wish them all the best.
Yes, indeed. God's blessings on you. I pray you're watched over because you got an opportunity that most people will never, ever get. And I pray you ride it out and ride around in your nice cars with your nice house and live a good life, man. It's your time. Shine with it. That's it. I appreciate you being on the show, man.
Oh, man,
thank you so much. Yeah, for sure, man. We're going to start talking this sports thing, especially locally. Right. I'm gonna have to start coming out to games and videoing, and then we can talk about some of the players and all that stuff, man, and how they working, and get in touch with the parents and stuff too.
I'm gonna introduce you to the whole coaching staff, man.
Yeah, the whole staff, the whole team, everything, because you know, if I see him in the street, I'm talking.
I hear you, bro.
Yeah, and that's the way it is. I appreciate you being on, man. Thank you again, Douglas McCray, myself, Jamil Salib Zamir, and this has been Community Candid, because that's how we do. I'll call you later on, my brother. Appreciate it.
All right.
All right. Yep.
Thank you so very much for tuning in to this month installment of the 19 Report. I am your host, Brother Johnny. I walked a thin line between right and wrong, took my fears to God, then I wrote this song. The spirit kept calling, so I answered the phone, and then I manned up and got some backbone. My mind resonates at a much higher tone, solid foundation, empire zone. 3 mountains, I'm in one, right to left counted, 9 and then 1, left to right switch it, 1 and then 9, west to east, south to north, a thin line. I know Christ exists, cause his mercy allows me a chance to stand 3 on a square. Yeah, we in there. This